Have you ever accidentally told a lie?
Yeah.
So what had happened was I was auditioning for a director from New Zealand, and I was trying to make small talk, and I was like, oh my God, I love New Zealanders. I had the most amazing summer experience with these guys from New Zealand. And he was like, tell me more. And, and so I said, okay, well, what had happened is I was 21. Well, that's what I put on my job application when I got the job at the pool hall. And I had a little bit of a drug problem. And, I was just an adventurous, do whatever you want kind of gal. I was open for adventure. I was, just young and wild and free. And I had found a bunch of Zoloft in my boyfriend's house, and then I stole it because I thought that was like drugs, and then I crushed it up and snorted it. And I don't know how much I did, but it was like a lot. I got to work at the bar, the pool hall that I worked at, and I knew something was wrong because I was hustling some pool, and I started to float outside of my body. And it wasn't like the good kind. It was the kind where you turn to your bartender and go, I think you need to call the ambulance because I'm crazy. And he said, we're not doing that again. And so I just am sitting in a corner dissociating, and suddenly out of the fog, I hear this voice going because I was super fucked up. And this voice goes mate, you look really fucked up. And I looked up, and there was a gentleman there, a tall, strapping gentleman. And then 4 other gentlemen spread out from behind him. There were 5, burly, and they were at a table, and apparently I was their waitress, and I had been huddled in the corner of their pool table for 20 to 30 minutes. And I was like, listen, I can't feel my face. I asked to go home, and they're not gonna let me do that, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do that anyway. And then they go, hey, that sounds dangerous, let's walk you home. You're gonna walk home? It's 2 a.m. And I was like, I got it. And they're like, no, we're gonna take you. And so then we leave the bar, these 5 guys and me, and we're walking to my apartment at night, and they're like, so do you have any roommates? Do you have a boyfriend, anything? I was like, I do, but I don't live with them, I just live by myself. And they're like, oh, cool, well, let's make sure we get you in there safe. And so then I unlock the door, and then they kind of just come in without asking, and they keep moving me to the bedroom, man, mate, you're really fucked up, we gotta take care of you, we gotta get you into bed. And I'm like, yeah. And okay, but part of me is still floating above myself, and I'm like, I'm about to get gang raped. And I was offended, because I'm from the hood, okay? I have seen some shit. My 12th birthday present was a fight ring. You know what I mean? I have seen people shot in front of me. 90% of the people I went to school with are in jail or dead. So I was all I just heard in my mind was Jane Crawford from Mommy Dearest going don't fuck with me, boys. This is not my first time at the rodeo. And so I go, hey guys, have you ever done ice? You have to say ice instead of meth because you don't want to scare people. Yeah. And they're like, what's that? And then I went, oh, it makes it so you can go all night long. It's really great. And they're like, oh yeah, let's try it. So I pull out the dime bag of shit that I had, and listen, I could have cut it up into lines, okay? But that would have been too manageable. If you're gonna try to turn someone out, you gotta freebase it. You gotta really overwhelm their senses and get them hooked in. And I was like, bad news, guys, they don't have a pipe. And they were like, well, can we go buy one? No, you can't, we have to make it. How do we do that? Bring me that light bulb. So they bring me the light bulb, and then I turn into Martha Stewart. They've lost all interest in the puss. They are now focused on this light bulb and what kind of alchemy I'm gonna do here. So I poke a hole in it, and then they're like, oh, so we just pour it in there? And I was like, no. There's a chemical film on the light bulb. You gotta put some salt in there, shake it around, clean it off. dump it out, then you put the ice in there. So then we do that, I'm like, okay, now you gotta like crack it back nice and slow. Wait till it gets to a nice golden sheen, and that's when you know it's ready. And then you can't just like, this is not weed. You gotta like an inverted sigh. Right, that's how you gotta take it in. These motherfuckers, by hour 12, were like, where can we get more? And I was like, you guys are traveling the country. You must have money. You come from families. You play rugby. Do you have an ATM card? He said, yes. And I was like, then we have more meth. So I give him a real American experience, right? I take him to my Connect Manny's house, and I teach him about what you gotta do with the dealer, which is you gotta sit there, listen to him play like 3 different versions of Stairway to Heaven through his 3 different fucking wah-wah pedals, compliment him, take the shit, and leave. Next thing you know, I've talked them into going up and down the coast of California in their van, hustling pool at like Pauhaus to get more drugs because they're hooked at this point. But I'm gay as shit. So all I know how to do is like go to the gay bars. And see, me as a girl at a gay bar, they're gonna give me meth because I'm fabulous. But the boys, they were gonna have to work for it. So it ends with me in a bathroom with one of these boys going like, listen, it's just a dick. It goes in your mouth, it goes out. And then we get high.
I love it.
You gonna work for daddy?
There you go, mama.
You gonna work for daddy? You gonna be a good girl for daddy? You gonna get on that fucking stroll for daddy? Huh? Months later, I get an email from one of them, and he's talking about how I fundamentally changed his life.
There you go.
You know, he got back home and he realized this isn't the way to live. This isn't the way to be a person. Also, he's queer. And it felt really special to know that like I had impacted someone's life that deeply. You know, that I created fundamental change, that I was a change maker. So I get done telling the story, and then I'm walking out of the audition, and I get to the elevator. And as I'm going to press the button, I'm like, wait a minute. They weren't from New Zealand, they were from New England.